Calls for an end to violence in Chicago after 2 children were shot over the weekend. And Chicago Mayor Lightfoot releases the 2023 budget, urging City Council to be bold, in her words. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Roesgen. The mayor finished delivering a re-election budget that emphasizes the good news, and our political editor, Mike Flannery, joins us now with more. Mike? All right, thanks, Mike. Now to the aftermath of Hurricane Ian and the death toll up to 80. Video shot this weekend shows the extensive damage to Fort Myers Beach after that hurricane hit last week. People are still evacuating because the island will be without power or water for a while. This video shows the Lee County Sheriff's Office conducting search and rescue on Saturday as survivors share horror stories about riding out the storm. And this is what led to some of those outages. A transformer exploded in Lakeland, Florida, and that took firefighters days just to put out the fire. Officials say it could take up to 2.5 years to have a new transformer built. And there's also concern that as rivers and lakes overflow, there could be even more flooding. Lauren Blanchard has that part of the story. And the storm isn't done yet. Remnants of the storm are still drenching parts of the East Coast. Heavy rains flooded parts of New Jersey. This video shows Stone Harbor, and rain is expected to continue across the area until tomorrow. Meteorologist Caitlin Cody joins us now with our first look at the forecast, starting with those remnants. Caitlin? All right, thanks, Caitlin. Well, you'll want to brace for some more traffic delays on the south side. The streets around the proposed Obama Center are going through another construction phase, and Joni Lum has that story. Chicago police are investigating the sexual assault of a 15-year-old girl near the campus of DePaul College Prep. Police say it happened on Friday night. The girl was allegedly drugged with an unknown substance and a cup of water and then taken to a wooded area off North Rockwell Street in Avondale. No one is in custody at this point. The Bears' potential move to Arlington Heights will top an agenda of the Village Board meeting today. Trustees are expected to reject a petition that would prohibit using any public money for that development. The group pushing for the petition is trying to get a measure against using any public money onto the ballot as a referendum for local voters, but they need board approval. However, they could get it on the ballot without approval if they get 7,000 signatures. Now, White Sox manager Tony La Russa expected to officially announce his retirement today. La Russa has been out since August 30th because of some heart issues. He's done 2 stints with the Sox, one in the 1980s, and he had 1 year left on his contract. Despite all those high hopes at the start of the season, the Sox failed to make the playoffs this year. Mark Carman told Scott Schneider this morning that there's plenty of blame to go around for the Sox not realizing those World Series dreams. Well, we've got a lot more to come for you here on Fox 32 News. At noon, the Supreme Court opens a new term today with new cases and perhaps some new controversy. Mike Emanuel in Washington has more on what to expect. Also outrageous and incredibly offensive. A high school football team has their season canceled after acting out a slave auction. And an out-of-line baseball fan kicked out of a game after taking a swing at an usher. Plus, at the Museum of Ice Cream in Chicago, trying to hit a hole-in-one here with their big ice cream experience. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. Jury selection began today for the man charged with killing 6 people during a parade in Waukesha. Darrell Brooks is facing more than 70 charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. He'll represent himself, and that means he gets the chance to cross-examine victims, police officers, and anyone else who testifies. If he's convicted on any of the counts, Brooks would face a mandatory life sentence. A high school football team in California is benched after a video surfaces showing players acting out a slave auction. The superintendent says the football team has forfeited this week's game and players involved will not be playing the rest of the season. As a result, the varsity team season is over now because of a lack of players. A Washington firefighter is accused of punching and biting an usher during a Nationals baseball game. Video shows 2 ushers talking to this man as fans in the crowd call for him to be thrown out, and whoops, there he goes. You can see he's not only out of there for that game, he's been banned entirely from the stadium for 5 years. Kim Kardashian agrees to pay more than $1 million to settle a case with the SEC. She was charged by the SEC for promoting a cryptocurrency on her social media without disclosing that she was being paid by the company. Kardashian's post included a link to the company's website for potential investors. In addition to the fine, Kardashian has agreed not to promote any crypto assets for 3 years. Well, getting around downtown Chicago this week could be pretty tricky. We'll have marathon street closures coming up. Opening statements began this morning against the founder of the Oath Keepers and 4 others. They're facing the most serious charges yet related to the Capitol attack. Stewart Rhodes and the others are charged with seditious conspiracy. Prosecutors said in court today that the Oath Keepers conducted an armed rebellion to stop the transfer of power by, quote, any means necessary. Attorneys for Rhodes say he did nothing illegal and that the government's case is completely wrong. The Oath Keepers face up to 20 years behind bars. Well, this Sunday marks the day that so many runners have been training for months. It's Chicago Marathon time, and lane closures also start today. Balbo from Columbus to Lakeshore Drive, DeSable Lakeshore Drive closes at 10 a.m. this morning, and it won't reopen until next Wednesday. So let's take a peek at what kind of weather we might expect for the marathon. Caitlin, what are you seeing out there? All right. Thanks a lot, Caitlin. And that'll do it for us on this hour. We'll see you back here for Fox 32 News at 4 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.